son. Where'd you find this?
Yo, that's so angry, guys.
Nope.
Hey, that's pretty good.
What up, everybody? Welcome to DC TV. My name is Brad. That is Jaime. We got Coach Tamp. We got Don Fran from the Don Fran Show. The futures are back down. The relief rally was a one-day pump and dump.
Welcome to the shit show, guys.
S&P is down 47 points. The Dow's down 307. NASDAQ's down 182. That's about to erase all of yesterday's gains. I'm looking at Bitcoin as well. It is actually up, outperforming the S&P and all the indexes yet again today. Interesting. It's up 152 points to $19,224 per Bitcoin. What's up, fam? What up, everybody?
What's going on? How we doing?
Can't wait.
It'd be better if we were green today.
You mean traditional stunks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Green and crypto.
Yeah. Well, I did something stupid. So I'm in puts. I've been in puts for a while, but we got low, and so I sold half of them. So I call it getting cute. I'll try to skip a red candle. I guess since we're selling off, skip a green candle. I thought we'd pop back up. I'd buy them back, and we kind of just the bear just kind of caught their breath and then just continued down. So I'm like, just please pop up so I can buy. I don't want to buy puts at the peak. I want a discount. So I've just been, it's bittersweet because the ones I'm in just keep going up, but I just want, I want to buy it back.
You know what I've heard people call that? He said, "Don't be a dick for a tick."
Well,
Yeah.
you know what a lot of people have
You've
called
heard
me?
that?
A dick.
Oh, no.
You have the dick at the size of a tick? Is
Yeah,
that what
it's like Jaime saying, "Don't try to catch a falling knife. It's dangerous," right? And then other people have said, basically, don't get greedy. Don't be a dick for a tick. Like the candle wick. God dang it. Never mind.
But that's but that's
I
how
juggle knives like a circus freak. I buy them all
Yeah.
the time.
So for
Well, if you can do that, why do you need zones? What do you need zones for if you could just call the bottom and the top?
What do you think I do?
Well, okay.
Fair
enough.
You called them. It's still a knife regardless, but we're still buying with the buyers. It used to be an impressive party trick when I was in another stock group called LPP. It'd blow their mind. How did you catch the bottom? I catch the knife, but also I have proper risk management. So
Fair enough.
If it's wrong, it's wrong. It's something I just went over on my channel because people you go over green trades a lot and not red, and it's because there's nothing to go over when it's red. I got in, I was wrong, and it stopped out. There's no management there. Management's when it's green because now I'm trailing it. How can I maximize gains? How can I stay on the gain train? Red is just red. Didn't pan out. A lot of people when they get red, they start looking for excuses as to why the market's wrong and they're right. And they just look for things to help them sleep at night, and then they're just more red later.
So do you have a percentage where you'll use X amount of your dry capital in a certain zone, but you'll keep a little tiny bit for your knife trick of calling the bottom? Do you do a percentage? Or
I was actually going to save that for Friday's lesson, but no, it's fairly simple. And oddly enough, this is one of the things I thought was common sense, but it's probably changed everyone's trading career that has followed me. So I take my entry and stop loss, hey, this is where I'm going to get in. This is where I'm going to stop out. And we'll place that on a chart later. But let's say it's $10 per share because we haven't clicked the buy button yet. But I'm thinking $10 per share. If it gets to that point, the story's changed. I'm wrong. I'm out. If I only want to risk $100, I'm only going to buy 10 shares. Whether I have $1 million account or not, what's my personal risk tolerance? Because if it's too little, you make stupid decisions and you don't care. If it's too much, you're sweating, you have anxiety, you're not sleeping. You got to find what you're comfortable. What are you comfortable if you walk to a blackjack table right now? What are you comfortable with putting, on the table? I got scared for a second because my
no alarm
crashed. I was like, oh God, is that it? But it was not Google. Anyway.
So for the uninitiated, Don, what is a put? Just because we enter with that subject, just what is a put?
I know you guys are off the rails right now, but keep going.
Yeah.
The whole structure of the show.
So you're putting market falling. Is that what a put is?
Yeah. Puts go up when it goes down on the basics. It's an options contract. I would say before you ever buy or sell one, learn what they are first. You can blow your account anytime. There's no need to rush into that.
Correct. Good. So for everyone there, you're just betting that the market will continue down or go down.
Yeah,
And
I'll make money if it does. Yeah.
Yes, that's all.
Mm.
Good.
Well, how is that different than a short?
I don't.
Leverage.
Yes, exactly.
Anyways,
Let's rock and roll.
guys, there's some crazy news that happened overnight.
Yeah, quite a few updates.
Yeah,
I did sell an NFT. Yeah.
cool. Yeah, there's that. There's that. We're going to get into that. We're also going to get into a lot of other things. Is Bitcoin actually a hedge against inflation? We're going to continue to have that conversation because the article that came out last night that I thought was very interesting that we can talk about. Morgan Stanley named one stock that they say is recession proof. We're going to talk about that, whether or not we think that is the case or if there's more than one. China Central Bank said that it's winning the war on Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about that, as well as a NFT that sold for over $3 million. Don't understand it still at all, but we're going to talk about that as well. But before we get into any of that, make sure you're hitting our Discord, guys. It is absolutely free to join. The link is in the chat. Would love to have you guys in there and hanging out with us to get more of your fix of DCTV. We put out a poll this morning. So far, we have a few votes in. See if we can get some more of those in as well. The question is, do you think that Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation? Yes or no? And I just made it pretty simple, right? Yes, you think it is. No, it's not. 57%. It's actually a pretty decent split so far on that. So let those votes come in. We'd love to have that conversation as we get later on into the show. But guys, as I'd mentioned, news happened overnight. Coolio's died.
R.I.P. my man. Gangster's paradise.
That's where he's at right now.
He did make it to past 24, so that question was answered.
He did make it past 24. I do wonder if perhaps when they found him, if they found him lined in chalk.
Either they put one out around him just to take that picture.
Is that too soon? Did he actually cross a man that didn't deserve it? And then he got whacked. Is that what
Death
happened?
ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I
mean, we're all going to hell.
We'll see you there, Coolio. We'll be there with you, buddy.
Damn.
And okay, so then so rest in peace, Coolio. Yeah, I mean, listen, that song, like, I don't want to say shaped my childhood, but it's definitely like one of the most memorable.
It's part of it.
Childhood.
Yeah, it's like gin and juice. I mean, it's forever. But Gangster's Paradise, that song was something. That was a good.
Yeah, then Weird Al came out with, like,
I forgot. Yeah, it was like Amish Paradise.
Yeah,
I forgot about that spoof. Oh man,
that's like
Weird Al up to?
Weird Al's best parodies.
Yeah, it was very good. It was very good.
But Floyd Fender says his mama was right. His mom. Oh shit! Living like do or die. Yep.
I'm telling you, find a generation, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody in here spitting lyrics from that one song.
I love it. I love it.
There it is. Rolling down the street.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a different song, but fair enough.
Fair enough. Okay, so then there was that, and we talked about Hugh Jackman being in the next Deadpool, and how Hugh Jackman was my man crush, and then this came out. I have to share this with you guys. So Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds actually came out with a video to officially announce this pairing of the two, which I am actually super pumped for. So let's watch this real quick. It's only a minute.
We still don't get volume.
Yeah, I'll sound it out for you. He said, "And next Deadpool film." Good,
I don't understand.
Please read the fine print.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
why.
Temp, you want to give it a shot yesterday?
Click the volume.
Yeah, it's not as fun. Yeah, make sure the volume's all the way up.
No,
it is all the way up.
No, it looks like it's off. Click. I'm looking at the screen right now. Does it not say the volume's turned off on the YouTube video?
I don't think so.
Is it? It's not us. It's Don.
There you are. Welcome back, Don.
Oh,
again.
Am I going out? God dang it.
No, you're here. You're here.
Okay. The volume on the YouTube video looks like it's off. Yeah.
Does that work?
Click that. Move your cursor to the right.
No, it's not working, is it?
Keep going. You're almost there.
to the right.
Nope. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Either way,
This sucks.
they made an official video on.
We'll
on-
drop the URL
Yeah.
so you guys can watch it.
That's so annoying. But it was a good video. I actually the premise of this was I was the only person that shared my man crush. I feel like the rest of you need to.
Well, mine's Ryan
Jackman is
Reynolds.
my man crush. She has been. Anybody in the Chaos crew, I know that Lord Fenrir knows this. Is my man crush is Hugh Jackman. He walked through this door and said, "Drop your pants."
Oh,
I probably would have a hard time saying no.
I would move out of the way.
Yeah. Jaime would gladly move out of
I'll go there.
the
That's
Tim,
fair.
do you have a man crush or woman crush?
I was just trying to think of it. Like I have one on the female side of things, and it's like slightly changed. For the longest time ever, it was like
Ooh.
Xena, warrior princess.
Okay.
Blake Lively came along.
Yeah, and then but when Game of Thrones came out, it's 100% Khaleesi. I mean, she is like a super badass.
Ooh,
But Game
okay.
of Thrones did her so wrong in the final couple
Yes.
episodes. Like they did her totally wrong. So it was Khaleesi all the way up until like the last 6 episodes of the entire series.
That was a badass.
That chick,
She was a
she's
badass.
beautiful. She's been
Intelligent.
humbled. She like literally is the mother of dragons. I mean, her power is just out of control.
Did no one else feel awkward watching that first episode with her? With who's the big guy? Jason Momoa.
Oh, but
That
he
looked
was good to
illegal.
her. But
Yeah, but first of all, that sex scene, I felt like the FBI was about to kick in my door. That looked like an adult and a 7-year-old. Like that
Exactly.
just did not look right.
size difference. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hear
Like,
what you mean.
that felt
Yeah,
very
it was-
awkward.
At least
Those were
anyway.
probably said until Wonder Woman. Ooh, is one you got anything for Wonder Woman, Tam?
Chris, you know, I don't, because the legit Wonder Woman was a little bit before my time, so I never got into it. That's why it's Xena. Like after Wonder Woman, who I will admit is an OG, Xena came, and so that was more my time frame. And then when Khaleesi came out, it's like, damn, she has dragons.
Have you seen She-Hulk though?
Oh, is that the lawyer
Mm.
thing? Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. That just looks like the corniest shit ever to me. You have a,
It's actually not
a
bad.
female Hulk that's a lawyer.
Yeah,
It's Bruce's cousin. Is who it ends up
I
being.
gotta be drunk. I gotta be drunk to even take
Yeah.
the time to
Yeah.
watch that. It
All
just looks
fails
too
to get
dumb.
violent.
right.
If you go in with zero expectations, I don't think it's bad. I think if
That's
you thought it was going to be good, I don't know how that would pan out.
Lord Fenrir's man crush has been Ryan Reynolds since Van Wilder. Fair enough. I feel like I would say a large majority of men out there, their man crush is Ryan Reynolds. So like that's the easy one. For
Who's Don?
Yeah, what's
Ryan
your
Reynolds. From the original Deadpool, because he was hilarious then.
Ryan
The original Deadpool was with Wolverine, and
Yeah.
remember he had the swords and he did like the spinny thing.
yeah.
Because his sarcasm, like that's how I talk. I think it's hilarious because after he kills everybody, he's like, "Okay, they're all dead now." Like
Yeah, and
come
it's
on.
all with the Tears for Fears, like everybody wants to rule the world backdrop. I'm telling you, if you have not watched Deadpool, I said it yesterday, watch it. I don't care who you are, you will appreciate at least the politically incorrectness of it all. And
Oh,
a great soundtrack. Like the 80s soundtrack on it, it
Oh my God.
rivals Stranger Things. It's
Yeah.
good.
All the
Remember
whole
he
really
spells Francis out at the end of the movie, the first one.
Oh,
He's like, "What's my name?" He's like, "Well, I'm gonna spell it out for you," and then literally does it in the bodies.
All right,
it is
Jaime.
good.
I was thinking, shit.
You do not have there's not a dude that you just like
It's
watch
got to be a
all-
Latin flair guy. It's
Yeah.
got to be.
Ricky Martin.
I knew that was coming. I knew somebody was going to say it.
Enrique.
Enrique, yes.
Julio Iglesias.
Justin
Julio
Bieber.
I don't know. Fuck. Okay, maybe Enrique or even Sting.
Oh, okay.
Sting
That's
That
solid.
makes
That's
sense. That
sexy.
makes sense.
is sapiosexual. Is that part.
What the hell is that?
I don't
Your
know.
mind. You get turned on by the mind of the soul.
Oh, okay.
No, it's the damn guitar. He's a rock star with like emotion. That's what it is.
You not listen to his words while he's strumming that
I
guitar?
guess that's true. Yeah.
Thing is it. He just revealed to us that
Yeah, that would
he's already making the
would be someone
argument.
we're
So
like,
that's
you know
100% what it is.
Sting.
We should at least mention Henry
Ooh.
Cavill from Superman, Witcher.
Yeah, fair.
My wife's. That's
Got a
not,
hell of a jaw.
and she told me.
He does
in
have a
bed.
hell of a jaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He literally is Superman. Like, there's not a better person they could have cast for that.
Shut up, Brad.
Holy shit, that's hilarious.
Yeah, Dogelord though, Antonio Banderas
Oh, yeah.
in Zorro, him and Catherine Zeta-Jones, that was a hot ass duo
that
right
was-
there. That's
Cool.
fair.
Kevin Costner, I can get down with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
For the
Dances
Love of the
with
Game is my favorite
Tonka.
movie of all time.
Yeah.
And yeah,
What was?
Who's
For
the
Love of the Game.
gladiator?
for Love,
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, yeah,
Russell Crowe. Yeah, before he
Ah.
got Russell Crowe in his prime.
before he got fat.
That way.
No, I'm sorry. Russell Crowe in his prime, as much as I love Gladiator, it's so good. That is not Mel Gibson in Braveheart. That is a different
Ooh.
level when you get to Mel Gibson in Braveheart. I mean,
Well-
Russell Crowe did a great job. Don't get me wrong, but fuck it. Mel Gibson, the blue face. You knew when you watch Braveheart, you knew the second they cut. You haven't seen it?
Oh, I have.
No,
I was
no,
just saying.
no.
hold
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The second they cut his girl's throat, you knew this dude it's over. Like this dude's gonna take down an entire country.
Yeah.
It's over. There is nothing that compares to Braveheart. That scene in Braveheart and when Mel Gibson came out on his horse to see that, over.
I got
That's a, so Mel Gibson. There was like a couple of moments like that with Mel Gibson. Remember, like the Lethal Weapon movies. Same
Yes.
type of deal. Like
and they
So
kept
good.
putting the
shit,
wrong
some
amount.
shit
He's like,
happened. Yeah,
90,000.
right,
They
Yep.
kept duplicating.
right.
But
Yep.
the other one is
They killed Mel Gibson's girlfriend in Lethal Weapon. too.
Yeah, and when Danny Glover went to talk to him sitting in front of his house when he was sitting in the dually,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Danny Glover was like, "Shit, I can't talk to this guy. They killed his girl." And Mel
Yeah,
Gibson just looked at him,
You just
and
said,
it was
"Okay."
over.
Okay.
It was over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. One more name. Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
John
Like-
Wick.
Yeah, John Wick, The Matrix,
Neo.
like
Yeah, yeah,
Neo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neo's a little weird for a man crush, but I get John Wick.
Well,
Or,
first of all, I want the person to control the whole world. You know, if I'm
Fair.
in the Matrix.
Fair, but then like you have to have shit all drilled into your spine, and you're in this gooey liquid. I don't know.
I'd
But then-
rather wake up from that than be in the Matrix.
He was able to,
You are in the Matrix.
yeah, he was able to reconnect
But-
outside of it.
But there was a like under the radar really good movie that Keanu was in. What was he? It was like an Exorcist type of. What the fuck was that movie?
Oh, he's making Constantine.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Constantine.
He's
That
making a
was
second
good.
one.
that was actually one of my favorite Keanu.
You know, he's
movies.
making a second one.
Oh,
No,
really?
Yeah. So in an interview, someone said, "Hey, what's a movie you'd want to do again?" And I think that's what started it because he said Constantine was actually his favorite role he played, and now there's a Constantine 2. I think it's coming out next year.
Oh,
no
nice.
shit.
Yeah.
On the
That's
softer side, did you ever see A Walk in the Clouds? That was good.
That was,
That was
No.
good.
No,
Damn. Throwing that out there.
and also 100% agree with this. There's only the original Matrix trilogy. We're just gonna forget about that fourth movie.
That's fair.
100%. Yes, this too. Like, there's no fourth Indiana Jones. Apparently, they're bringing out a fifth Indiana Jones.
yeah.
Harrison Ford just needs to
It's like Rocky 78.
right. Yeah, right. off
Listen,
the-
guys, don't put a cap on those guys. Don't do that to Harrison Ford.
If Fast and the Furious can have 37 movies, you know, there can be a
Fair.
couple more of the other ones.
I guess. I don't know. All right. So now that we've had our fun, let's get down to business. So the best universities for blockchain in 2022. Tam shared this article with us this morning. And this is from CoinDesk. They ranked the top 50 schools screened from a sample of 240 institutions worldwide in their scholarly, industrial, and pedagogical
Yes. Teaching.
impact on blockchain. This story is a part of CoinDesk's Education Week. There's a whole video with it and everything, but one of the most notable universities was Berkeley, correct?
Cal Berkeley, yeah. It's worldwide university, so I was really looking at the top 50 who was in there from the U.S. So if you just scroll down, Cal Berkeley was the first United States-based college listed. Cornell was in there. Stanford's in there. Harvard's in there. A couple other U.S.-based
And please note
colleges.
everyone, who these are.
Yes.
Usually world leaders come out of these.
Oh, yeah.
So what how does this connect it to Bitcoin? What do you mean universities for blockchain? For those that don't understand.
blockchain, Bitcoin was the first, not the first real world application, but the first globally successful real world application of blockchain, the technology itself. So these universities are now extracting and educating their alumni into why it's such a revolution to the future. We're literally, and that's why it's called Web3 also. It's the next iteration of the internet. So the fact that they have this focus tells you that there is a future world leaders coming up that will understand why this is important and why the boomers today trying to block it is a mistake.
So these are colleges that are teaching a course on blockchain.
Yes, yes, and where they're actually deploying blockchain, like UC Berkeley is deploying the Cosmos nodes and a few other technologies as part of their curriculum. And us as a team, we're part of the conversations with these universities on helping them deploy that technology, nodes, staking, adoption into their curriculum also, and supporting that effort.
Right. And Don, if you look, like, I know it's going to sound bad, but just if you check the key out at the top of the screen, it will show like scholarly impact is in yellow from the school. So that basically means anything that they get published and peer reviewed that's going to get pushed out to the world. How much of that comes from this college? Go back up a little bit, Brad. And then the blue, a little bit more. The blue is how much the campus offers as far as blockchain, I guess, related information, employment industries after you get out of college around those same places. And then the last one, the academic reputation of the school. So you can see, especially like the scholarly impact. So just information being pushed to the world about blockchain. So it's not just Bitcoin, right? Like blockchain is a technology.
Hold your mouse over those bars real quick again. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I saw the numbers on there, like percentage wise. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. So
the engagement with this chart's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I thought this was real cool because there's quite a few US based schools on this list. A lot of them are West Coast heavy, but it makes sense with the whole Silicon Valley movement. UT Austin is in here. Which is becoming a Bitcoin and blockchain hub in the US. I was a little surprised to actually not see any Florida schools listed on this, as Florida is definitely becoming a big blockchain destination for opportunity job-wise. So their education needs to catch up on that. But a lot of really good schools in here. Like Jaime said, big time notable people come out of it. And I'm sure Brad will link it up, but this is crazy because so many of these schools are based in Asia and China that are in this top 50 list. Yet China's out here trying to crack down on Bitcoin and say that it doesn't want its citizens to use Bitcoin. Specifically in the article, it says, because it is a threat to our bank. No
that
shit.
A threat to their control.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the mind-blowing part about all it. Like the Hong Kong Polytechnic University is number one.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's mind-blowing.
Because this is also, I said this yesterday in the chat, I don't think it's going to be as decentralized as people think. And so I was curious to hear you guys' thoughts, because this kind of just plays into that, because it threatens what they have. It threatens the big money, which we know as of now, tinfoil or not, I think it controls everything. So I was thinking they actually get ahead of it, find a way for it to work for them, and then let all the players on the field.
CBD
which those that I think that is what the big move I think is coming in crypto is actually going to be, that big money getting ahead, making it theirs. And then there's the come up, then everybody else kind of comes in. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Like, because it does threaten the banks.
So what they did was Bitcoin, as the article states, shows that China was the largest country, or one of the largest in terms of the Bitcoin transactions and the movement of money inside and outside the country. Then they cracked down on it. And now this article states that they're way down. It's under control type thing, and it's because it's a threat to their banking system. Now, what China is pushing to replace Bitcoin as a transaction mechanism is their CBDC. It's like the renminbi or yuan in crypto on the blockchain. The problem with that is it is absolutely centralized, so they can actually see where everything is at any given time. And that's my concern, Don. It's a great question. Is okay, as governments and they start launching the central bank digital coin or token, it literally is using this technology, this new knowledge, the blockchain, for control, for visibility, for, and that's why people still look at Bitcoin, because that is truly decentralized outside. So I think you got to read the writing between the lines. Hey, we're asserting our control. We're being successful because this is a threat to our banks. Look at the economy, it's going to shit. But if you think about it, the people who have earned their value, grew huge empires, now they're getting locked in to the government's control. Bitcoin is an outlet to be able to transfer it elsewhere or put it somewhere else, or still retain their store of value without anyone gaining access to it unless they give up the words.
Okay,
Right.
so basically Bitcoin's the continuity between all of them. Am I correct in saying that? Like, that's why I should own Bitcoin or be in it, because governments will adopt. We'll have the USDC. We'll have the China's version. They'll all have their digital currency.
Yes, so they're deploying.
Go ahead.
You can finish your thought, Jaime, because I have a little bit of a different perspective on this.
Okay, so the end thought is the following. Bitcoin is still decentralized, and you can carry it and not lose it, versus the other blockchain solutions coming out. There's what they call the trilemma, which is decentralization versus centralization. And centralization literally means it's controlled by an organization or people. And decentralization is not controlled by people, but a DAO, for example, which is distributed. Let me not get too complex. It's a global community controlled. So it's by votes. It's by everyone involved in that blockchain choosing the path for the blockchain itself. So that's the difference.
So here's I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. The reason you should have Bitcoin is because you can transact peer to peer, and governments have figured out there's no way to stop that. That doesn't mean that you can necessarily do everyday transactions on it. You can't. The network will clog. It will congest. It's not good for everyday transactions. But you can have some value on the Bitcoin network that you can take with you anywhere, and that you can use if you need to transact at any time. That is the argument for Bitcoin as far as a financial holding goes. Okay. With DeFi, the things you get into with DeFi is the way that DeFi is run. The only way that we know of right now to ensure that it does not get taken down a la Terra Luna is that you have to have a massive community network actually using decentralized tokens first. Once you have the community transacting and using tokens, the ability for an outside bad actor to come in and take down that community goes pretty much to zero. So Terra Luna was the closest thing we had. UST was the closest thing we had to actual community adoption, to the point where it almost was too big to be broken down. That is seen as a threat. So you had somebody come in and attack the protocol and take it down. Had Luna and UST if they had about 2 more weeks, give it just 2 seconds. If they had about 2 more weeks, it would have been too expensive to attack the network and bring it down. So that is why DeFi in particular is a threat to banks and overall economy in that mode. Like, does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Yes. Built on blockchain, by the way, Don. So that's the mechanism, the below.
Yeah, you don't have anything without blockchain.
I want to bring up Bruce's comment real quick. I know he's genuine. This almost sounds like a troll, someone that's never going to adopt Bitcoin. But I know he's in all our streams. He's awesome. He says cash is the best when the power goes out. So I do kind of like, what if power goes out? Like what if I want to transact something like that and there's no physical form?
It's worldwide. I mean, even if we had a worldwide power outage, there's not any electricity in the entire world. There are still people running analog nodes, a la Morse code. So and they run them over FM radio waves.
Yes.
So I mean, you can turn your little handheld generator and literally continue to run a Bitcoin node. Is that extreme? Of course it is. But even in the event of a worldwide power outage, you're still going to have Bitcoin running.
Yeah. And I do get, because Peter even said if power goes out, cash won't matter either. Like I get that argument, but I was very curious, like since it is so power driven, like what if there's a rolling blackout or something like that? Not even worldwide, but just how do I have that transaction in general?
You still have it because the blockchain still runs.
It's global.
It's still there. Your value is still there. It never changes.
And there are, let's say, an EMP. Now let's go really out there. An EMP blows out everything. There are miners in locations that are EMP proof also. So at least those will stay up. So as soon as power comes back, your records are still there intact. And then the rest of the blockchains will sync with that one. So it's very difficult to turn it off. And the reason why you want to go into this decentralized is even Peter says it's good for Bitcoin.
Yeah, because they can take out banking records. Because that'd be sweet.
That's Fight Club, isn't it? That's the premise.
Yes,
of Fight Club.
that's the end of Fight Club.
That's right. So don't mention Bitcoin. Rule one.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. So yes, so it's just everything is a grand experiment, really. And the fact that these universities are supporting that experiment or informing the world of the experiment, it says a lot about the adoption. Adoption is going to be key, like Tam said. If the adoption can occur on a global scale, there's no government that could stop it.
I mean, and it's no coincidence at all that I think people, whether you want to call it the deep state regulators, whatever, they see the capability of something like a UST, like a Luna, and then that gets taken down. And now right on its heels comes extremely overreached regulation. It's a freak out shotgun effect to what was going to be inevitable. They're like, oh my God, we can't let anything get near as close as this ever did to actually turning live. Regulate it now, overreach, just slow this down because we don't want any stable coin that looks the same as that.
Yeah, they want to. I mean, all that did was like prove almost like my point. They just want to be the ones in control, and like they almost lost it there for a second.
Right, and that's why they're freaking out and overreaching because they're just trying to stifle that innovation. Because if you get a community to start actually using any sort of DeFi stable coin, you're not going to be. It's going to be way too expensive to bust down and bring down.
We need that scene from A Bug's Life, or is it Ants? Is it Ants where the little seed hits the grasshopper and he's like, did that hurt? He's like, no. And he just dumps all the seeds on him. And he's like, did that hurt? If you let one do it, then they'll all do it.
Yes, it's a good metaphor.
Yeah, they hate competition. I mean, literally, this takes away their power. That's why China is so hell-bent on eliminating Bitcoin, because it literally gives an option to their citizens of skirting this peer-to-peer, a billionaire to a billionaire. I can send you value.
Which is a perfect segue into our next topic. And that is that China says, and by the way, before we get into this, we have other things coming, such as, is Bitcoin still a good hedge against inflation? What is the one stock that is recession-proof? As well as our what the fuck moments of yesterday. We're going to be talking about, it's going to be our new segment, WTF. We'll be talking about that. You might have saw that. I actually accidentally gave away a part of it, but that's coming too. So make sure you stay tuned. Before we get into this, though, as well, make sure you're clicking that link in the chat. Come join our Discord for free. It's absolutely free to come and hang out with us. If you can't get enough of DCTV, we would love to have you guys there to continue some of the discussions we're having today. So, as I had mentioned, the China Central Bank says it's winning the fight against Bitcoin transactions. And just to elaborate on this, People's Bank of China is focused on its crackdown efforts to eliminate Bitcoin transactions for financial stability. And now it says it's succeeding. This is something that I shared with our group this morning, rather. They said, while we continue to crack down on domestic transactions, virtual asset hype, the share of Bitcoin trading in China has plummeted. The bank's Financial Stability Bureau wrote on its official WeChat account this week. I don't get it. I don't understand why China is like. I mean, when we just talked about it, right? The threat that China feels because of being decentralized. Obviously, communist countries such as China cracking down on this, which is interesting though, because Russia is all about it.
Correct. So in other words, the government is cleared to use it, but not the citizens.
But is China? But the government of China isn't using it, are they?
Guess who Russia's transacting with?
Well, okay, fair.
China.
Yeah.
This is a good factor FUD, and this is 100% FUD. I think this article is completely lost. I don't think any type of usage is down in China whatsoever. I think they're just reporting this.
Well,
So
this
the government
is reporting, so it's not necessarily the article. I don't want to call out the person who wrote this, but this is the Chinese government. So no surprise, right? Like China's trying to spin some sort of narrative. So just to be clear.
And here's the narrative
absolutely
right down here. Sorry to reach over.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. There goes Jaime. I pulled a Jaime. Sorry.
No one can read that fast. You guys want me to tell you what it says? I read it.
Damn. I knew you were a bot. So the country's central bank also said it is taking its fight even further by stating that cryptocurrencies, and here's the key, peer-to-peer transactions are all threats to the banking industry. So in other words, if the Chinese government cannot see it, it's a threat. And that's literally what cryptocurrencies are, is peer-to-peer. You can use exchanges, and most people are using it, but you and I, or me and a Chinese counterpart, can actually transact directly, and they do not. That's the whole thing about communism, is it's everybody.
They're treating they're treating this just like they treat the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the internet is still usable in China, but it's like a watered down, you can't look at certain sites because we don't want you to find out what we're actually up to type of bullshit.
Yeah, you can't Google Winnie the Pooh.
Right.
Why? What did Winnie do?
Someone said Xi Jinping looks like Winnie the Pooh, so he scrubbed the internet and had it all deleted.
He did? No, seriously.
I had no idea about that.
100% true. Winnie the Pooh is no longer existent in China.
That's
hilarious.
Oh, they're gonna have to take down Shrek too, because somebody in every country looks exactly like Shrek.
Yeah. Dude, poor Tigger. Oh, damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they have to say these things. They have to show. I mean, they're moving to the social credit system. I mean, it's all about control. So of course, crypto, the blockchain, is a decentralized technology in a centralized country. So it makes sense that they would be doing this. And Chainalysis, which is the organization that even the IRS uses here for backtracking crypto transactions, they're reporting that the report suggests that China's crypto ban has either been ineffective or loosely enforced, because they're seeing the transactions occurring, regardless of this report. What they mean probably is the fact that all the miners left China.
Yeah.
So all those transactions and minting and all that stuff. And guess where it went? To the United States.
Yeah.
And Brazil is another location, and many other areas. So it's the decentralization is literally what's happening. What I think what they're really saying is, hey guys, we got no more miners. So all transactions have come down. We're in control, guys.
By the way, I love how we're both fidgeters. Just to go completely off topic, Jaime's playing with a little piece of Velcro that's been sitting on this desk for ever since we've been here. Yeah, I did the exact same thing.
You're kidding.
No, you go watch yesterday's stream on In the Chaos, and I was doing the exact same thing.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
We're both very fidgety people.
Yeah, good point, Simon.
Because there's like some random like spring noise. I had a spring clip on my desk, and my hands are closer to my mic, so I'm sitting there just like, as I'm talking, you guys can't see my hands. I'm just jacking around with that. Or it's usually a pin.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
All right, so yeah, obviously, you know, this is just China being China. I think that they really are just trying to spin something that just isn't there. They're
still top 10.
Heard from them, yeah.
They're still top 10 in the world,
which is
out of 200,
which is hilarious,
countries.
Right? Which is hilarious. All right, so so let's get into shift gears just a little bit. Our what the fuck moments of the day. So I actually saw a video. So Hurricane Ian wreaking havoc, right, all over God's green earth in Florida. Anyway, and it's been pretty tough to kind of see some of the footage that's come out of there. But there's been some lighthearted things that have occurred as well. You know, the weather people during this whole entire situation has been they've been getting their asses kicked. Did anybody see Jim Cantori get his ass kicked yesterday? Literally, a tree branch hit him, and then like he moved onto a street sign. Oh my god, yeah, he was getting his ass kicked yesterday. First of all, if Jim Cantori shows up here in Charlotte, North Carolina, I'm getting the fuck out of here. If Jim Cantori shows up, you got you know bad shit's happening.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, there's another local news reporter that was having some mic issues because, you know, your mic gets wet, things go bad. And this is actually what happened.
Wait, did they for real wrap plastic around that?
Yeah. Bro, it's a condom.
It's a condom.
It's a condom. We can't hear it, Brad.
Who for real thought that was a good idea? It was like, this mic's not gonna get an STD from me.
I can share this mic with everybody.
What is she gonna do with it afterwards? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, is that the
Good
backup
God.
mic that maybe something else was? Like, don't worry, my backup mic is waterproof. I know I'm not the first person to make that joke either. Like, but like, was the cameraman? I have so many questions. He's like, "Don't worry, I got this. I keep one in my pocket." You know, was he like that guy? And then
there are some pretty hilarious comments. There are some pretty hilarious comments. One of them was gives a new meaning to "I put that shit on everything."
Oh man!
Somebody
said that just for publicity.
It has to be. I mean, she didn't even use the ribbed one, you know.
Damn. Yeah, that is true. Hey.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Let me see.
Even her voice stayed stable as she spoke, even though she extended the microphone. You usually hear those changes.
Yeah.
It wasn't. So she must have had another microphone inside her jacket.
I don't understand. Somebody actually said, been watching the Weather Channel people all day and not having a problem with their microphones. They don't need condoms. I think that it has something to do with like their budget. I would imagine that the Weather Channel has like the baddest ass microphones that can get wet. You can toss them in the pool and they're still working. But maybe not. Jim Cantori,
how much water do you need to get through the windscreen? Just the little filter on the end.
Correct.
I mean,
like that's. I could probably sit under a sprinkler and you guys can still hear me with one of those. Like, it'd be just fine.
Maybe.
Hey, if you share my screen, Brad, I have Jim Cantori getting tore up by this tree.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I don't know if you'll have sound or not.
But just watch the visuals then.
Uh-oh. We just
no. She rolled out.
Tell her to change where the stream is coming through.
What?
You change it from EOS webcam.
We just completely she's just gone.
Weather Channel's watching, guys.
She wasn't having it. Maybe that was her man crush. She realized it, like, that's my man crush, and she's mad. Just furious.
Yeah. Somebody said, was she carrying this in her purse? What if she happened to carry a plastic in my camera bag, but now I'm switching the condoms, at least for the mics. All funny shit.
And even
the idea actually isn't that bad if you wanted to weatherproof it real fast, but then when you consider it's a mic and not any sounds coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the lubricant all over your microphone.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like now your mic smells like fucking latex. Lord Fenner says, I use condoms to keep water out of a rifle barrel. I just feel like, I mean, I don't know, plastic wrap or I don't know. I feel like there's just better.
You carry a lot of saran wrap with you?
Carry a lot of condoms with you?
I would assume you probably have you're more likely to have a condom on you than you are just a box of saran wrap in your back pocket.
That's probably a bigger question. Did she actually have that on hand, or did she have to go and get that?
Right.
It's got to be like one of the
or the one of their cameramen have it on.
I'm going to call him a Chad. It's got to be one of those as a cameraman, like for sure, like frat guy. He's like, don't worry, I know just the fix.
Yeah. Our next what the fuck moment of the day is this. Somebody
That's the NFT I sold.
That's the one Don Front sold. He told us.
Yeah.
He came clean.
Don apparently sold an NFT and made $4.5 million on it.
I just wanted to lock it in while price was here, you know.
In a down market. Well done, Don.
This
must have been a put.
The NFT market is alive and well. I'm actually shocked by this, especially in this market, right? Like, you're seeing a lot of these NFTs sell for fractions of what they sold for in the top of the market, and this one still sold for $4.5 million.
And it's number 2,924 from the original batch.
Who bought this?
They haven't said.
No, I haven't seen who bought it.
And the way this works, guys, is they just see the transaction occur on the blockchain, and that's how you know a transaction happened. But unless the owner of the wallet where it went to
owns up to it,
there's no way to actually tell.
Yeah.
Because what I'm going to say here is before anybody loses their mind, because I know we have some viewers that just aren't in the crypto world.
Mm-hmm.
This nerd probably didn't spend a real 4,500 or 44.5 million. He probably bought that. He's probably one of those guys that has just 1 million Ethereum when it was $1, you know, like something super cheap, and grew into this. Mm-hmm. I hope that's the case.
It's very likely. For them to drop it like that, usually it's under. Who knows if it's national or international who did this transaction also. So they may not have ever transacted with it. They have a huge bag of it. They don't know what to do with it. And out of, let's say they have 1 million ETH, 3,000 ETH is nothing to them.
Yeah. It's like what everyone thought Shiba was going to do. So they spent $20, they got 1 billion of them. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, it turned into Ethereum and did go off. Like, it was nothing for them to spend that. Like, there's no way anyone in their right mind was like, you know what I'm going to do? Spend 4 million on that. Like,
yeah. But having been in the auction house, the fine arts auction house, Tam is back. Welcome back, Tam. So being in that industry, you will see that just because they've made this transaction, it now has provenance of value. So down the road, let's say anyone from this era that's heavily involved with crypto or these type of items, they're like, hey, it was already transacted back then at this value. Thus, now we sell, or it's worth this much. You know, once the NFT craze comes right back up.
Well, that's my like question. Like, why number whatever this is? Why is it this specific one? Why is you would think that like number one or the last one in a batch would be more valuable than just some random one that gets picked out of a pile?
Maybe
bring up Peter's comment. Bring up Peter's comment. Is the utility on this hidden? Like, I'm going to give you this NFT. It comes with a pallet of Coke. You know, like
yes.
Like what do you also get with this?
Absolutely. And it's all tied to that. I mean, this is literally a representation of something.
Money laundering?
That's another one. So if they've never moved it, let's say this is a huge mining facility.
Well, the only reason I ask that is because, you know, traditional art, you know, was also been used as like money laundering.
Absolutely. And a lot of them, remember back in Picasso's days, is like, that's shit drawing. I can't even tell what the fuck that is. This may come back down the road as like we were just talking about it, Don and Brad, on watching the Nintendo way back in the day. Like, God damn, that's good graphics, guys. You know, we were so impressed with it. And that's literally what happens in the fine art industry. People that were in a specific time frame and there was a specific zeitgeist or spirit of the world or what was popular at the time will come back, like the bell bottoms and all that bullshit. So, and then you start seeing the bell bottoms because it was worn by so-and-so, selling it goes for $1 million, something like that. You know, this type of scenario will eventually come back, believe it or not, like all art.
Well, does this create comps for other NFTs? Because at this point, if I'm trying to hide value, create wealth, you know, like there's a lot of things you can do with art because it's considered subjective. So when it comes time to paying taxes, oh, that's just an oil painting. or like you want to talk about my portfolio, that's the Mona Lisa. You know, like there's a huge difference. So like, does this affect any other NFTs at all like that? Or can I say from this creator, I now am worth this much?
So they'll use, it's like fair market value in real estate. They'll use this genre, average it all out, and say, this is the real valuation the market can support. So when you see outliers like these, it's not necessarily the whole market will go to that level. It's more of a fair market. It will push or raise the fair market value. And like it happened last time, you had one auction, NFT auction, one of the first big ones by Christie's auction house, and all of a sudden the craze went up. It lit up that industry, and now you start seeing bullshit out there.
If I had 2 accounts, could I not buy and sell to myself for crazy amounts?
Yes, and now here's the risk. You better declare on your taxes at that point. You know, if you're on the state side, but if you're abroad, depending on what liberties you have or non-liberties, locally. But yes, you can actually, just like art. I mean, you could show someone bid on it. It's always a private party, and they buy it. It doesn't stop them from being the same party, just to raise the valuation from a political.
It's something like, what if I bought 100 Bored Apes? I got just the top 100, whatever they are, and I just sell number 23 and 24 back and forth to each other at crazy numbers. And then all of a sudden I can just sell the rest of mine to other people that see these transactions happening. Can I just
now you just think tax liabilities from that?
What was an investment
transaction back and forth? So the same entity, or I own both entities, and now I'm sending it back and forth. Each entity is going to have to declare their transactions, buy and sell.
They can't just 1031 exchange this thing, because since it's an investment, they paid that money while collecting that money, so it's going to just cancel that thing out.
That's the importance of regulatory clarity. There isn't none yet. Does 1033 apply in this scenario? Real estate, it does. It hasn't been declared by the IRS.
NFTs are just too new, I guess.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on.
Good idea, though.
We are running out of time, so I want to make sure we get these last 2 topics. Is Bitcoin an inflation hedge? Now, I actually put this in our poll, and it's starting to sway to the side of yes, it still is an inflation hedge. But I want to try to figure out as to why. And it is actually an inflation hedge right now. We saw a significant drop in cryptocurrencies from November of last year with the total market cap of $2.9 trillion. Now it's back down below $1 trillion at $959 billion, thereabouts. But we are seeing some interesting movements in crypto as it relates to the traditional markets. The indexes have continued to move down, whereas Bitcoin is actually up 6%. And it's still hovering around that $19,000 mark. And obviously, we're seeing inflation continue to wreak havoc globally, not just here in the States, but everywhere. And there's now some narratives being spun as to whether or not Bitcoin or even cryptos in general are still a hedge against inflation. Jaime, I yield you the floor on this one.
So, just back up to the macro level, like really zoom out, and you'll see that it is a good hedge against inflation in countries like Argentina and others that are suffering like astronomical issues in terms of deflation of their local currency, their fiat currency. If you back up also and look at Bitcoin overall, it's still, what was the last number we saw? 250 year over year value increase on
200% year over year.
Yes, year over year thus far. Versus fiat, where US dollar, where has it gone in that same time frame?
Right,
ever since it existed.
Gold as well, right?
Exactly. So it is still, despite the short term, what you're saying, oh my God, I just lost all this value. Well, you entered at the wrong time, and thus you're experiencing the loss. But overall, so far, historically, Bitcoin is still a hedge, despite what seems to be, we haven't reached the critical mass to where now the governments and everyone else sees it as a hedge against inflation or the general market. But if you look at the overall history, yes, it's in positive territory versus the other one. It's pretty simple to look at it that way. Now, in terms of why are Fidelity and all these huge institutions opening this up, I think they also see something in terms of value of tradability, generating income from Bitcoin trading. So it's pretty simple if you back it up. If you're looking at it from the last months, and Don, I don't know what your thoughts are from as an asset.
Well, could it also be a lesser of two evils as far as volatility goes? Because where the dollar's getting, like the dollar's strengthening, like it's going nuts. At that point, could it just be like, we don't need all our eggs in this basket? Could we be padding the walls a little bit as far as what their mindset might be?
Correct. And now, when you say it's going nuts, it's 17% that it's gone up against the other currencies.
The dollar's just going crazy. The other currencies, they have the issues of their own, but yeah, the dollar strength is going. We haven't seen the dollar this strong. I forget how many years. I'd have to pull up a chart.
It's almost since the 80s, I believe, that we've seen a dollar this strong, and we're pretty close to all-time highs of the dollar.
Right.
So
thank you, UK.
But so that being said, the U.S., in my opinion, still has the power to print as much as they want. They have the ability to manipulate it. And can Bitcoin be manipulated? Yes, but not to the degree that we're seeing with fiat right now. And so, with this only just exacerbates the argument that Bitcoin can be used as a hedge against inflation because it is finite, right? And that's the bottom line. It's a finite asset, and theoretically gold is too, but there's still too much of it, in my opinion.
And in the case of gold, you're still mining it.
And it's pretty heavy. We talked about that yesterday.
Yes.
So the answer in short is yes, it's still a hedge against inflation, even though right now it's following the markets pretty closely. But I think that there is some interesting notes to take when now it's kind of diverging against the market. So, in the environment that we're in right now. So I thought that was very important to kind of just note and observe what's going on between Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general and the traditional markets. Thought it was a good topic to bring up. Lastly, we'll do a fun one, and that is Ferrari is apparently recession proof, according to Morgan Stanley. And they actually ended up upgrading this and kind of got me thinking a little bit. So one of the reasons they brought this up was because of the new the analyst. One of the analysts from Morgan Stanley says that he's particularly bullish on the new. Is it Pure Song? I haven't actually researched this enough, but it's a V12 gas-powered engine that turns out 715 horsepower. And I got to be honest with you, as a Ferrari fan, I love Ferrari, love it. This new Ferrari is ugly AF.
Hey, it looks like
it's 700.
The wagon they already tried.
So the Lusso I actually liked.
The wagon?
Yeah, I actually kind of like that a little bit.
Stupid.
But this looks even worse.
Doesn't it look like the Mach-E?
Oh, is this a crossover though?
It does look like the Mach-E.
We just rode in this yesterday with Brad.
So this is an SUV though. This is not a car, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, crossover. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't look bad.
It does look like a Mach-E though.
It does.
Not gonna lie. Now that you brought that up.
Good.
So one of the big reasons why they're bringing this up, why Ferrari is recession proof, is because the rich don't give a fuck. They're going to continue to buy Ferraris and Lamborghinis and all that stuff. It's not going to bother them too much. And so my, I guess, question to you guys is there some validity to this? Is there other stocks out there? I mean, Porsche just went public.
Yeah.
Do we think that this is actually something? And here's the other thing too. Morgan Stanley is saying that they're bullish on Ferrari and that it's recession proof, but the stock is down 30% this year. Right. It's actually not outperforming the S&P yet. Do we see a shift in that? What have you?
I think they're stuck in it.
You think Morgan Stanley's stuck in it?
Yeah, just trying to pump it.
That's fair.
I think
That's
they're on
fair.
crack.
You don't think that Ferrari is
No,
recession proof?
I mean, yeah,
To think the rich don't care, I get that point, but they do. There's a reason they have that much money. It's not because they're pissing it into the wind when the market's bad out there just buying Lamborghinis and Ferraris, especially if times really, if we're going into a real, like there's a recession that the middle class has to worry about that often the upper class doesn't. Well, I don't want to say they don't have to, but there's a different set of rules for them.
and they have so much disposable income that they can make the purchase, but I don't think they would do it as an investment.
Yeah.
This is a fair point, though, that Lord Fenrir brings up. The rich buy the car, the poor buy cigarettes and booze.
Yes.
We talked about that earlier in the week about more shit. Why is the company Brown Forman, and what was the other one? Cigarette company.
Oh, Philip Morris.
Thank you. Philip Morris were the two stocks that actually, and Philip Morris is outperforming the market. No surprise there, right? And Brown Forman isn't too far behind. But this is, an interesting conversation. I think it's.
Yes, and you know what? I agree with VS. Let Don slap some zones on Ferrari stock, and we will know if it's really recession. So join Don Fran at a show.
Yeah.
When do you stream, Don Fran?
That's a good question. Sundays and Tuesdays, and then on Thursdays I do it's pre-recorded. I'll do a market recap here a little bit later today, actually. If you share my screen, I have Ferrari pulled up. I think my problem is I don't like the usage of the word recession proof. Like if things get bad, you think you're going to just run somewhere and hide and put your head in the sand like an ostrich. I think you're setting yourself up for failure. I don't know if I would want to just go at it with that mindset.
Yeah.
I'm on the weekly right now, so I need to change that to purple.
But either way, we are out of time.
Yes.
We're out of time. But so the I guess general consensus is that no, it's not recession proof. And we'll see, I guess. So just also let everybody know Tamp is alive and well. She said I think she has some technical issues, but no worries. We'll see you tomorrow, Tamp. And guys, if you are interested in checking us out, make sure you do so over at our Discord. The link is in the chat as well. We'd love to have you guys there to continue this conversation over at DCTV's Discord. Please go check that out. Also, make sure you're subscribing to this channel if you haven't done so already. We'll be back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time to talk about whatever the fuck we want. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Tomorrow Friday?
Tomorrow is Friday.
Yes.
It's a fun fact Friday. We got some lessons tomorrow.
Fun fact Friday. We got lessons tomorrow, and Peter Saddington himself will be our special guest for Friday. So make sure you guys are tuning in. You're not going to want to miss that. And we will see you all tomorrow. Keep calm and huddle on.
Have a great one. And we'll answer your question, Doge Lord, in Discord.